Hey, this is Austin Weber with Weber Bracketology, where every day is Selection Sunday, and we're through the first weekend of the tournament, which has been pretty crazy. I mean, a 16 seed won, we got a 15 seed in the Final Four. I mean, the Final Four in the Sweet 16. We got two 1 seeds that went down. I mean, it was a pretty crazy weekend in the tournament, but it's also been a pretty eventful week in the transfer portal. So the transfer portal opens up. It opened up officially it was like an hour or something after the selection shows when it officially opened up. So that's when a lot of movement started happening. There's been like 600 players that have entered the portal, and obviously not all of them are going to be the noteworthy ones yet because we still got a lot of teams in the tournament, a lot of players making decisions. But we really have had a lot of movement, especially teams like Louisville's lost a lot of players, and then teams that are losing their coaches like Temple and Northwestern State. They've had a lot of players enter, a lot of good players, especially from Temple. And then we've had the big coaching changes. We've had Ed Cooley going to Georgetown. Rick Pitino just went to St. John's. Nothing's really happened there. Except for Iona, Quinn Slazinski, who has missed most of the season. I know he's left from Iona. Jared Bynum entered the portal within like an hour or two of Ed Cooley leaving Providence. And I know there was I saw this morning, I'm recording this the morning of Tuesday the 21st, and I know I saw that Providence lost a recruit as well. So it's been a pretty hectic couple of weeks, and I'm just going to go through some of the big things that have happened so far. And the biggest news so far are the transfers of Skyy Clark from Illinois to Louisville and J.J. Starling from Notre Dame to Syracuse. Skyy Clark didn't really play much for Illinois. He left the program pretty early. I feel like it was like December, might have been January, whatever it was. It was really early on in the season he left the program, and he was a 4-star recruit. So going to Louisville, that's going to give them really point guard play. Well, we haven't seen Skyy Clark play at a college level, but he should provide them some point guard play, some explosive offense. I mean, he's got some explosion. He can get to the hoop really well. So he should be a big benefit, especially we don't know right now if L. Ellis has come back to Louisville. So they really just need a point guard anyway. They need talent, especially because they've been losing players. They lost Jalen Withers. They lost who was it? Kadiri Lands, Devin Reed. They've lost some notable players on their team so far. So Skyy Clark, huge addition. And then J.J. Starling, he did play really well his freshman year for Notre Dame, averaged over 11 points per game for the Irish. And so Syracuse is the new coach. They really haven't been good. I mean, they made the Final Four in, what was that, 2016? Something like that, 2016, 2017, something like that. But they were an 11 seed then, so even then they weren't really good. So Syracuse has a lot of fixing to do, and J.J. Starling he's a good start to that. And then other news in the ACC is Kevin Miller from Central Michigan. He's transferring to Wake Forest, and he only played, I believe, 4 games this year, but as a freshman he averaged, I think, like 13 points a game as a freshman. Might have been 11, but it was a lot. He averaged a lot of points a game as a freshman, and he averaged over 18 points in the games he did play this year. Shot really well, and he can really shoot. He can score. He can play fast, and that's what Wake Forest likes to do. And they've done really well the transfer portal these last few years. Alondes Williams and Tyree Appleby. So I don't know if Kevin Miller is at that level. Because those were like all ACC type players. But he should provide a lot of offense for that team. Another coaching move was Will Wade going to McNeese State. Obviously, he was fired from LSU after all the allegations, but he's back coaching. He's going to be at McNeese State, and he got some pretty big commitments. He got Mike Saunders Jr., who is a guard from Utah. He started at Cincinnati for his first 2 years of his career. He started a few games there. He's a good player. He's athletic. He can score. I think he'll do really well at a level like McNeese State. I mean, it's not like there's a lot to really live up to at McNeese State. McNeese is not a very good program, so a talent like him there will be a big boost for them. And then they also got Zach Harvey. He transfers from Cincinnati as well. He's a wing player. He was a top 50 recruit. Didn't really do much there. He started at Cincinnati, went to UC Santa Barbara. He didn't really do much there either. So he was a 4-star top 50 recruit. So I mean, just that talent at that level, those two players, that should be a really good start for Will Wade at McNeese State. We'll see what else he does. I know they've lost some players in the portal too, so we'll see what he can build up there. We obviously know he can recruit and build a program. The legality of how he builds the programs obviously is in question, but I think at that level, I think he should obviously have some success. Other big transfer, there hasn't been too many major players that have transferred, but two interesting ones is from Louisiana Tech. Kobe Williams and Keaston Willis are traveling to Tulsa. Tulsa, under first-year coach Eric Conkle, they had an atrocious season. They won 5 games. A lot of their players, especially their top scorers, they're leaving in the portal. These two are coming to play for he coached them at Louisiana Tech for a few years. So we'll see if that'll help Tulsa get a little bit better. The Americans losing Houston, UCF, and Cincinnati, so they're gonna maybe have a chance to step up. Kobe Williams was really good for Louisiana Tech. He averaged over 19 points. He averaged about 19 points a game, over 4 assists. So I think Tulsa could be in a good position if they do well. Another one that really interested me was Xander Rice. He's a point guard from Bucknell. He's one of the better mid-major point guards, and I really thought he was gonna go to a good team, and maybe even if not be a starting point guard, be a backup point guard. And in his decision, he said winning was important, but he went to go play for his dad, which that makes sense. But at Monmouth, a team that won only 7 games and is losing some of their top talent, so that was an interesting choice. I know playing for his dad is probably important, but it's just an interesting choice for a player who could have gone to. I know he had high major offers. I believe I saw Clemson offered him. Obviously, it's what makes him happy. But I just thought he might go somewhere a little bit higher and have a chance to be a starting point guard or a really quality backup point guard. The last commitment that was kind of interesting is Tyler Hauser, a freshman from VMI. He committed to Delaware. He's big, who can really shoot well. VMI, I believe, might have been the youngest team in the country last year. Most of their talent was freshmen. They had a lot of freshmen near the top of their scorers, and so he's a big guy that can shoot the 3 well. So that's a good get for Delaware. But there's still a lot of really good players left in the portal. We got Jameer Nelson Jr. He's wherever he goes, he's going to be a starting. He's going to be a starting point guard at a high major team. So any team that really needs a point guard, he's there to get. There's Jamin Brakefield and Amari Abram from Ole Miss. Obviously, with Kermit Davis gone, they're losing some players. There's Nicholas Timberlake from Towson. Fardaws Imek from Texas Tech. He's transferring again after not really playing. Khalif Battle from Temple. That's a really talented player. And there's going to be just more and more coming. I know Eddie Lampkin is in the portal, and I saw there was a report that he was going to Georgetown, but at the time of recording this, he said that's not true. But obviously, we'll see what goes on there. But yeah, the transfer portal players only have till May 11th, I believe, to enter. And so every week, I'm just going to try and recap some of the biggest movements and tracking myself where players are going. And obviously, we got March Madness going on, which is madness, and then the portal madness at the same time. College basketball is crazy this time of year. So if you enjoyed, make sure you like this video and subscribe here for more college basketball content, and visit Weber Bracketology for more.